Welcome to Movies in the Making. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at the 1994 prison drama film The Shawshank Redemption, originally released by Columbia Pictures and directed by Frank Darabont. Here, we will dive deep into the story of the production of this film. I mean, even a prison drama film can have so much going on during production, and this film is no exception, especially considering how many people label it as one of the best films ever made. Even the casting process was complicated, as were the conditions the crew had to work under. So, sit back and enjoy the show. You are all in for a ride of imprisonment. The film is based on Stephen King's 1982 novella Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, itself the first of 4 stories published into the book Different Seasons. Director Frank Darabont gained the rights to adapt the novella through a unique arrangement born from King's Dollar Baby initiative, which allowed filmmakers to adapt his short stories for just $1. Darabont had previously impressed King with a short film based on another adaptation of one of his works, The Woman in the Mist, which led King to offer Darabont the chance to adapt Shawshank Redemption. When Darabont asked about payment, King casually suggested he send a $1,000 check, saying if the film succeeded, they would make money, and if not, he would return the check. Having worked on lesser-known horror films, including a remake of The Blob, TriStar Pictures, 1988, and a sequel to The Fly, entitled The Fly 2, 20th Century Studios 1989, Frank Darabont was eager to pursue a more meaningful and artistically ambitious project. He adapted Stephen King's Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption into a screenplay that emphasized on deep character development rather than traditional action or spectacle, intentionally steering clear of cliches such as car crashes, romance, or explosive special effects. The script's focus on emotional depth, relationships, and themes of hope and redemption made it stand out in Hollywood, and it quickly gained attention, becoming a sought-after project. As a result, major stars like Nicolas Cage and Tom Cruise expressed interest in the film, recognizing its potential for a powerful, character-driven story. After Darabont finished writing the script, he took it to Castle Rock Entertainment for production. When the studio's co-founder, director Rob Reiner, read it, he loved it and wanted to direct the film himself with Tom Cruise as the lead. Reiner reportedly offered Darabont $2.4 to $3 million for the rights, but Darabont, despite being financially struggling, turned down the offer. He later explained that he did not want to give up on his own vision for the film in exchange for money, choosing to keep his original dream. Tim Robbins was cast in the film after several high-profile actors passed on the role of protagonist Andy Dufresne. Initially, Darabont envisioned Tom Cruise for the lead, following Cruise's success with Rob Reiner in A Few Good Men, Columbia Pictures 1992, but Cruise was unwilling to work under Darabont as it was his directorial debut. Other major stars like Tom Hanks and Kevin Costner were offered the role but declined due to scheduling conflicts. Hanks went on to feature in Forrest Gump, Paramount Pictures 1994, which by the way won the Academy Award for Best Picture over The Shawshank Redemption, and Costner went on to feature in Waterworld, Universal Pictures 1995. After a few more actors were considered, Darabont finally turned to Robbins, who had impressed him with his performance in Jacob's Ladder, TriStar Pictures 1990. Robbins' casting also led to the hiring of renowned cinematographer Roger Deakins, who would later earn an Academy Award nomination for his work on the film. It also led Robbins himself to directing the film Dead Man Walking, Gramercy Pictures 1995. Morgan Freeman was cast as the character Ellis Boyd Redding, or Red, in the film after several other actors were considered for the role, including Gene Hackman, Robert Duvall, Harrison Ford, Paul Newman, and Clint Eastwood. Initially, Red was written as a white Irishman in the novella, but Castle Rock producer Liz Glotzer suggested casting Freeman instead, a decision that Darabont supported after seeing the actor in Brubaker. 20th Century Studios, 1980. Tim Robbins, eager to work with Freeman, was excited as he had grown up watching him on the PBS TV show The Electric Company. Freeman, impressed by the script and thrilled by the opportunity, was astonished to learn that he would be playing Red. To create a young mugshot of Red, directors cleverly used Morgan Freeman's son, Alfonso Freeman, as a double for the role. Alfonso also delivers the unsettling line, "We got fresh fish," early in the film, setting the tone as Andy arrives at Shawshank Prison. Darabont's approach to the voiceover in the film was inspired by Martin Scorsese's use of narration in Goodfellas, Warner Bros. 1990. Darabont, who was adapting his first Stephen King story, admired how Scorsese used narration so effectively and watched Goodfellas multiple times during production to learn from its example. Freeman's iconic voiceover narration almost did not make it into the final cut of the film due to technical issues. During production, he recorded his lines to match the on-set action, and it was completed quickly under an hour. However, the audio had a tape hiss that could not be removed, so the sound team had to bring Freeman back in for a re-recording. This time, it took 3 weeks to get the perfect take. The Shawshank Redemption was filmed in Mansfield, Ohio, primarily at the Ohio State Reformatory, an abandoned prison with stunning Gothic and Romanesque architecture that perfectly suited the film's setting. Filming there was partly due to the location's eerie and historic atmosphere, which made it an ideal stand-in for Shawshank Prison. The city of Mansfield, which had fallen on hard times due to the closure of several major manufacturing plants, unexpectedly benefited from the film's success, drawing tourists, or Shawshank pilgrims, to visit the prison and iconic locations from the film, such as the famous oak tree. The reformatory, initially slated for demolition, was saved by local enthusiasts and has since become a popular tourist attraction, boosting local pride and revitalizing the community. Filming for The Shawshank Redemption took place between June and August 1993. The filmmakers, initially impressed by the prison's imposing architecture and disrepair, found a nearby warehouse to build the interior prison sets. Filming occurred over 3 months, with scenes shot at various locations in the area, including the reformatory and other sites such as the Bisman Building in Central Park. The production, which involved Freeman and Robbins, brought significant attention to the city, ultimately boosting its economy by an estimated $11 million. Filming The Shawshank Redemption presented several challenges for the cast and crew. Darabont, known for his insistence on multiple takes, created tensions on set, particularly with Freeman, who would sometimes refuse to repeat scenes. One physically demanding scene was when Red and Andy first meet, requiring Freeman to throw a baseball back and forth with Robbins for about 9 hours straight. The repetitive motion put a strain on Freeman's shoulder, making him have to wear a sling when he showed up for filming the following day. Another challenging moment occurred during the roof tarring scene, which was filmed under extreme heat, with the temperatures reaching 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The crew used real tar, which would quickly harden between takes. This left the actors struggling to handle the heavy mops, which became increasingly difficult to manage due to the sticky, solidifying tar, adding an extra layer of physical assertion to the scene. Another notable difficulty was the escape scene where Robbins had to crawl through a sewage pipe. This sequence was risky to shoot, so a local chemistry expert was brought in to test the water in the stream below the sewage pipe. The chemist confirmed that it was absolutely lethal. Despite this, Robbins went ahead with filming after being promised a warm shower immediately afterward. For some shots, a safer option was used. A pipe filled with a mixture of chocolate syrup and sawdust to simulate the sewage, which still retained the smell of chocolate long after filming. Filming also presents significant physical and personal challenges for Tim Robbins, especially during the iconic ice scene. Despite much of the ice being made of plastic, Robbins described the freezing cold as extremely uncomfortable, acknowledging the physical toughness required to film it. In addition to the physical strain, Robbins was dealing with family struggles as his family lived in St. Louis, and he would fly back to see them on weekends, adding to his exhaustion. Despite these challenges, Robbins felt a strong commitment to the film, believing in the vision of the script. Filming the scene where Brooks feeds a maggot to his pet bird, Jake, was a frustrating experience for Darabont. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, ASPCA, insisted that a live waxworm could not be used, only allowing a dead one that had died naturally. This decision confused Darabont, as he had difficulty understanding why the live worm could not just be used for the scene. The rented ambulance used in one scene broke down, and the crew did not have the budget to replace it. This could have disrupted the scene where Boggs is taken away from Shawshank Prison after his well-being by Captain Hadley. However, the filmmakers creatively solved the problem by having a small group of crew members push the broken ambulance past the camera. This detail was so faultlessly done that it is not noticeable in the final film. A powerful moment of Andy's growing defiance in the film comes when he plays opera music through the prison's PA system. Initially, the script had Andy turning the music off, but Tim Robbins suggests that he turn it up instead, adding more impact to the scene. Red narrates that he does not understand the opera, which is Mozart's The Marriage of Figaro, a piece about a husband's infidelity, an ironic parallel to Andy's wrongful imprisonment. This scene helped the piece earn a nomination for a spot in the American Film Institute's list of 100 top movie songs. Surprisingly, author Stephen King himself expressed dislike for this particular scene. During the editing process of the film, Darabont and editor Richard Francis Bruce faced significant challenges in figuring out how to piece the film together. Despite months of struggling with the footage, Darabont had a breakthrough idea: to use a courtroom scene as the structure for saying the story through flashbacks. Darabont reflected on the experience, emphasizing that even though the initial process was difficult, it was a learning opportunity. He acknowledged that filmmaking involves flexibility and adaptability, allowing room for mistakes and changes in direction, which ultimately leads to success. This mindset also extends to the work of the film's actors, including Robbins and Freeman, as Darabont learned to embrace the creative process. Thomas Newman, a renowned composer, became the musical force behind The Shawshank Redemption in 1994, marking his big break in the film industry. Born into a prominent Hollywood family, he grew up surrounded by music and studied composition at the University of Southern Carolina. Before composing the film, Newman worked on TV shows and low-budget films, but it was his work on The Shawshank Redemption that brought him widespread recognition. Known for his emotional depth and innovative use of orchestral instruments and unique sounds, Newman's music helped convey the themes of hope and redemption in the film. Newman's distinctive style and ability to capture a film's atmosphere made him one of the most sought-after composers in the industry. The film's budget was about $25 million, but it only grossed about $28 million following its release date of the 23rd of September 1994, making it a commercial failure at first. Despite strong performances from Robbins and Freeman, and promising test screenings, the film was overshadowed by blockbuster hits and suffered from its bleak premise and unusual title, which made it hard for audiences to spread word of mouth. However, the film found new life on cable TV. Turner Entertainment-owned channel TNT broadcast the film, which resulted in its airing achieving high viewership. It was also frequently rented on VHS, causing more audiences to discover its emotional depth and uplifting message. This growing appreciation led to the film building a devoted fan base, allowing it to achieve widespread recognition and critical acclaim, ultimately becoming one of the most beloved films in modern cinema. As of the 15th of January 2025, The Shawshank Redemption has an 89% critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes, an 82 out of 100 rating on Metacritic, a 9.3 rating on IMDb, making it the highest rated film of all time on that website, and a 4.6 rating on Letterboxd. In March 2006, the American magazine Empire listed the film at first place out of the top 201 best films of all time, as voted by its readers. Robbins said to Empire that, "It feels great to be top of the pile." It received 7 Academy Award nominations, including one for Best Picture. This is currently the most nominations for any Stephen King feature adaptation and one of the most nominations for a film not winning in any category. The success of The Shawshank Redemption led Frank Darabont to direct another Best Picture-nominated Stephen King feature adaptation, The Green Mile, Warner Bros., 1999. The Shawshank Redemption is now owned by Warner Bros. Discovery because Turner Broadcasting System purchased its studio, Castle Rock Entertainment, on the 22nd of December 1993, a year before Sony Pictures-owned Columbia Pictures released the film into theaters. Turner Broadcasting System itself will later be purchased by Warner Bros. On the 10th of October 1996, thereby giving them full ownership to the Castle Rock Entertainment library, including The Shawshank Redemption. Note that films produced by Castle Rock Entertainment that were also produced by Nelson Entertainment are now owned by Amazon through Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and Sony, through Columbia Pictures, still holds the copyright for A Few Good Men, 1992, In the Line of Fire, 1993, and North, 1994, as well as the TV show Seinfeld. And that wraps up our deep dive into the making of The Shawshank Redemption. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated on all things movies in the making. Let us know in the comments what you think of The Shawshank Redemption, or if you have any favorite moments from that film we did not touch upon, or what films you would like to hear covered by this channel. Also be sure to check out our community page where we announce what films will be talked about by this channel each week. New posts arrive every Friday. Thanks for watching, and we will see you all next time on Movies in the Making, where we will be talking about Pulp Fiction, Miramax 1994, and more films to follow along the way. Tune in for more Movies in the Making as we uncover the stories behind cinema's most unforgettable films. This has been Jason Scotchmer, film enthusiast and passionate about the arts.